It works. How's everyone doing today? How are we doing? Okay, what are we doing today? Oh, that's right. Let me see if I can't get this on dark mode before I give you guys eyesores. Let's see. Not that one. Not that one. Yeah, we'll go with that one. Okay, okay. Last stream we had a little bit of a we ran into something. I was a little confused as to what Rust was asking, which happens sometimes. Yeah, it happens sometimes. Let me find it in the code really quickly. This was 2 days ago code. Um, really, it's best to be in the same code every single day. This doesn't happen. Um, although I do actually remember where it was. So we were making this listener, which is passed by trait, and if you remember here, let's see exactly where here. I don't remember. Oh wait, it's in the main, not in the website. Okay. If you remember here, we have this join handler, where where is it? Yeah, we have this Tokyo spawn on this WebSocket client right here, just like that. And in this, we are passing our Twitch event handler as a Twitch event handler. So that all seems good, and we create this here with a new box, blah blah blah, and we can go here, and this is where it was giving me a little bit of pause. Was it wanted this send and sync? Now, in my mind, it was wanting me to make to implement send and sync for the Twitch event handler, which in this case we're just doing it with the AMI manager. We're building it nice and condensed, nice and easy. We're doing it here with this AI manager, and I didn't. I thought that they were asking for me to do something like that, which you have to add unsafe. Send isn't unsafe. So, but I mean, this is all you have to do. And usually I think a common practice here is to do this because, yeah. So you have to unsafe, blah, and then it's fine. But it was asking me to do this, or that's what I thought it was asking. Um, and that's not what it was asking at all. So so this is dangerous. First, if you ever use this word, it means you're doing something dangerous. And two, my intuition was that that's unnecessary, just unnecessary. And so, if there was any of you that were a little confused, I just wanted to touch base with this, just so that we were all on the same page, because I had to sit there and think about it. I had to look some stuff up. First, this is a really good rundown. How does Rust know to forbid shared access across thread? The answer is two traits: send and sync. Send and sync are unsafe traits. The compiler will automatically derive them. This is the key point. Everything that you do, the compiler is going to automatically derive them unless it can't. And the only way it can't is if you use something that doesn't implement send or sync. So a classic example of something that doesn't use send or sync is RC. RC is, so if you have like a reference count thing, like if we made this RC, this is not thread safe. And so, you know what? I believe, I didn't test this, but let's test it. I believe that if we do this, we'll actually get an error. I don't know if I want to go all the way through changing everything to do this. We're gonna get problems. Yeah. So you can now see that sync isn't Well, yeah, this is the problem. Is this is an async function, so of course it's going to complain here. But if we went through all of this trouble to fix it here, um, then all of a sudden the compiler's not going to be able to do send and sync on this object itself. So we don't want to do this, but that's the idea. That's the idea. So a while ago when I was first learning, I think I did something with RC or something like that. And it was like, hey, you need to implement send and sync on this. And I just went and implemented send and sync. But like, you don't actually have to implement anything. So I just slapped send and sync on there, which is why I was like, oh no, this is dangerous. But what they're asking for here is that we're just constraining this object, this object right here, to a send and sync object. That's all. And that's fine. Ours is and should be. So if this gives us trouble in the future, we can deal with it if we want this to not be sendable and syncable. All right, then this is fine. Let's actually see if this runs. I don't even know if this runs. Cargo FMT cargo build. All right, we have a few warnings. Maybe we should knock out some warnings before we do anything more. Run's going to fail. Yep. We just split it into this. So really right now, it's Twitch Listener. We're going to move it to single app today. Twitch Listener. That is what I meant. So you know what? If there's somebody from the cargo, can you make this a question that I can answer and then you just run with? That's what I would love. Cool. This is what we expected. I haven't passed any auth to it. Awesome. All right. So we're running. Let's clean this up a little and move to the single app. We need a new name for the single app. Single app is kind of a lame name. I don't know. Twitch events is also a lame name for this whole Twitch alerts. Do we have a name? Like it needs to be epic. Maybe some Roman mythology. I need a name. If you think of a name that goes well with some Roman stuff, let me know. We'll slap that in here as its name. And then the single app can be named that. But we're going to move the stuff to the single app. I think then this will be able the Twitch listener is going to be able to be no, Twitch listener will always have a main function. It's always going to be runnable because we will run that as its own unit as well. All right. So in the main app, I think we can just copy and paste the main from here. That's what I'm going to start with. This isn't going to fully work because this main uses this, which I don't think is publicly exposed. All right, public struct web client. Do we make that pub out here? We'll see. Oh, we do? Well, we shouldn't have. We We did. But we should not have. All right, so then all to make it work, we need to import Twitch listener. Let's do this. Actually, we'll need quite a few dependencies. What are our dependencies up here? Let's see. There's the ones on the WebSocket. AI manager. Clap will be one. Clap and ops. Will we need this? I think we'll need this because we're going to be building the auth to hand in. So yeah, we'll need this. Need this. This. Yeah, okay, so we're going to need a lot of these. So we're just going to grab here. Although I don't think we need all of these. Let's try to pare these down a little, and then we'll see. I'm going to start with this, and we're going to see where and then we're going to start removing some stuff and seeing where we can just get rid of stuff. So we don't have these anymore. All right. So it doesn't like ops, unresolved imports ops. Let's see. Ops wasn't. Oh, ops was something we did. Actually, we need to have an ops 2 because that's our command line ops. So new file ops.rs. We're just gonna take this here. Now, the WebSocket ops will stay this, but this will be specifically for running the Twitch WebSocket. So we're going to be able to remove stuff like the GPT and stuff because that is going to be all on the AI manager in the future. So, while we're at it here, we're just going to remove these from here. Not useful anymore. This is also going to tell us where to get rid of them here. Done. Wait. Okay. Ooh, this is maybe a little bit harder than I thought it was going to be. We need to I need to see a picture. I need my picture. Okay. So when it's running by itself, looking at Twitch, and then it just passes stuff on to the AI manager, it's not running by itself. It's running as part of that single app. But when it's running as a microservice, it is running by itself. And it doesn't know anything about the AI manager. Yeah, that's right. So we have to decouple all of this code, which is really good. This is helping it. So the WebSocket client really shouldn't. It should get this Twitch event handler, and it needs to build an event handler when it runs by itself. But we don't have any other one than the AI manager at the moment. So you know what? We're going to leave this be as is right now because we don't have. When it's running in standalone, we need to inject a Kafka one or something. So we're going to leave this stuff here because right now we have to inject the AI manager. That's the only one that we have. Okay, that makes sense. In the future, yeah. So when this actually runs, we don't want it to look like this. That makes sense. Okay. So now you have ops. We have ops here. Let's see. Mod op. Boom. Oh yes, this is something I did not do this. This is what the people that make the Twitch event API suggested. So we're going to we'll take this still. I have never done like microservices in Rust. So like this might be really good. I need to think about this. So this is basically is just putting tracing on the requests and stuff. I have not done a whole lot. They use ire, which is like it's a derivative of anyhow. I've not used it a whole lot, so we'll see how we like these things. Ire is like made for a microservice architecture, I think. I think if I understood it correctly. All right. Oh, there we go. All right, and last website failed to resolve use of undeclared module. Okay, this is last one in the thing here. We need Twitch listener. And then we should just be able to import. No. Oh, wait. No. No, this is not what we want. We want this WebSocket client. But this should be coming from Twitch listener. Let's try to just write that ourselves. Use. Should be that. Failed to resolve use of undeclared crate or module. What? No, never. Might just need a clean. I believe it's added here. Let's see. Twitch listener. Did I misspell it? I mean, it might be misspelled. Did I spell it the same as it is here? Let's see. Listener. Okay, that seems to be spelled correctly, or the same, whether it's correct. Let's just run a clean really quickly. I saw an error. I saw it. What did I screw up here? The path is right too. Yeah, one up. Twitch listener right there. Hey. Right. Yes, all of these should probably be published as well. They're not. I don't know. They're kind of useless. We can talk about whether individual things out of this could get published or not. Oh, these are going to be wrong, aren't they? No, because we moved Twitch API to the top level feature. Okay. So this is right. Excuse me. This is right. Why is this not? Do you have anything else? No, just these. Failed to resolve use of undeclared creator module Twitch. But it's here. The only thing I can think of is if there's something funky with this. We kept all the same imports, which we do have a little bit of a dependency nightmare here. I realize that. Some of this should clean up, hopefully. Hopefully. Let's see. Do I need a lib.rs? Do I need to define a library as well? Can I not include? I've never tried that. Am I not allowed to include a non-lib? I feel like that's not true. But is that the problem? Rust lib and bin. I don't know. I haven't done that. I have. You have to do this. This is what it is. Here we go. Is this the solution? I don't know. It feels a little weird to me, but we'll try this. So first, we'll make a new file. We'll call this lib.rs. Happy as happy is. We will we'll throw these up because we need those to be public when we're running as a lib. Why do we have errors here now? And we don't found for the create root. Okay. So I think that has to do with this one. Let's try putting this in our cargo really quickly. Ooh, sorry for the flashing. Yeah, okay. So we have this is dumb. Let's do the bin is called Twitch listener, and the lib is called Twitch listener lib. All right, and then this goes to the bin. We don't have a bin. We have a main rs. Main. And this goes to librs. All right, so it's still a little upset about the ops. Can't found in the crate root. Consider importing this struct. So I thought that that was because it was a little confused that this was part of the actual thing and to that, you know, we didn't have a mod ops, but we do now. Oh, we don't have a mod util though. Is that the problem? We have util WebSockets. Let's see, what else is there in here? That's all that we have in here. Let's try just doing a clean. This doesn't seem like a real error. This does. I just don't know why the crate no longer has an ops since we put it here. My thought was that because it wasn't in here originally. Let's see if there was anything else. Oh, 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 I know. Do we have to specify like one of these? I mean, they're the same thing, which kind of actually feels. Yeah, this feels really dumb because they're both pointing at the same thing, but they want me to specify which one. I don't know. Okay, and maybe this didn't work, and that makes me feel a little bit better. Huh. Actually, let's do this. Let's do this and see if it gives me a recommendation of how to import it. Quick fix. Really? Should have started with that. Why is it not this anymore? I don't know why that changed. I don't get it. What did I screw up here? Hey, Russell. How are you doing? Oh no, did I accidentally change this? I did. It was a reference. Okay. All right, we're back. We're back to cooking on all cylinders. How are you doing? How's the Rocket League going? Is it going right now? One second, I gotta check. I almost feel like I should stop my stream. Although I feel like somebody that would watch, most people that would watch my stream wouldn't watch Rocket League. Oh, wait, is it going on? No, it's not. Only the French I don't know. I don't think it's going on right now. Oh yeah, your favorites are looking good? Or are you saying the favorites of the tournament are looking good? I actually have been super busy, so I haven't caught. I caught like 3 games, but I don't follow the Rocket League enough to know the favorites of the tournament or anything like that. So you've not really got a team? I don't know. I always like drift towards having a team for some reason. Um, like I don't know. It's usually like derived from players that I really like, or if Team Liquid supports. I've always been a fan of like the stuff Team Liquid has done. So you know, that usually does it for me. They've done a lot over the years. All right. But that didn't fix our problem here. Ah, because we need the lib. We did actually name this lib. Okay, okay. So that did fix our problem. Never mind. I stand corrected. We need to rename this. This is getting out of control. When I was younger, there was a StarCraft 2 player named Tasia, and I really liked him. Yep. Failed to resolve use of undeclared crate or module WebSocket used. This is now fixable. Is that the fix? Is that the import we want? One second. I'm not sure that that's. We actually already fully qualified the import of WebSocket client, so we don't. That's not actually what we want. This is what we want. Cool. Now this is the problem, and we're going to fix it by deleting this ops here. We're going to move that to trash. And we're just going to use the ops of the WebSocket. Now, in the future, these need to diverge. So we'll have a WebSocket ops and we'll have an AI ops. Right now, they're the same thing. So effectively, what's the problem is these are ChatGPT, and these need to go into like the AI ops, AI manager ops, and yeah, but for right now we only have this one. So basically what we're doing right now, Russell, is we're bringing it into the single app, and the single app is the thing that's going to run. We need to come up with a good name. I've tasked everyone to come up with a good Greek or Roman name, and that's what we're gonna call it. I'm bad at naming, so I'd come up with something pretty stupid. Let's import this here. Let's see. Carmine Corp are the favorites. FaZe Clan is in just about everything. Uh, and Complexity are the South American. Isn't Complexity North American? At least their Dota team was, but they haven't had a Dota team for a while. Oh wait, South American playing in the U.S. who are looking amazing. Sorry, if I had only read further, that would have answered my. We're going to delete this. We don't need that. And we were going to use ops from. Where is our import? Where's our import? Oh, here we go. Actually, this will just fix it for me, so I'm just going to do it this way. Twitch, listener lib, opt. There we go. We will also need this ops and secret. Okay. Okay. Is that it? Is this it? Did we do it? You know, I think we can also just delete utils because for right now, we're using what's in WebSocket. Eventually, again, we need to break these things apart, but this is the initial heave ho. Let's see if this runs. Cargo run. Did I call it single app? Is that the name of it? I think it is. I think it is. All right, too many Greek and Roman named product out there. Okay, so another name for a Twitch alert app. I don't know. What do we call it? I guess it's Twitch, so like it should be like a gaming themed. So yep, I still don't I still don't know what that would be called. So for right now it's called single app. Uh because we're running it as a single application. This is like I'm just using this to package all of them. So again, like each one of these should be able to be run individually, and that's fine. Now, what we had to do here, Russell, I had never had to do this before, but I had to make it a lib and a bin. So I had to do this. I don't know if you were here for that. That's like the last thing that we were doing because you can't import a bin. I didn't realize that. I thought I didn't realize you can't import a bin. So we had to do a lib and a main for this because yeah, I'm using it as a library here, but it also needs to run individually itself. So all right. So let's actually get this running. We need to give it an access token, which I've leaked this access token so many times. It's okay though. This is a revocable token. It's also only has access to listening to events on my channel, so okay. I had never done it before. I didn't realize that was a thing, which I'm glad it is. I know it is now because now as I go through the lessons, I can touch on it because it took me by surprise. It isn't too bad. It just I was doing this import over here. It didn't have the underscore lib. I was just doing Twitch listener, and it was giving me a few weird errors because it was just like, hey, you didn't import Twitch listener, and I was like, no, I did right here. So it wasn't directly clear to me at first, but it is nice. It also means like you can do different things here, like what you publicly expose versus privately expose. Like, I do like this part where you can like pick and choose between what's exposed via this. So I do like it. I just didn't realize I needed to do that. So here we need to give access token. Actually, we need a couple things, but we need access token. Let's see. I think I can pull this out of history. There we go. But this doesn't have the right binary. So we just need to do bin. think it's single app. Single underscore app. And then we can do access token channel ID. I think this should work. Okay. If you make a command line and you do the did you mean, it means you know that I meant. And this should be like a yes or no. I should be able to hit yes or no. You can default to no. That's fine. Make me hit the Y key. But let me just go with it. Oh. There we go. All right, GPT key is required. That's okay because I did not source our file. Source. This key you cannot see. Chat GPT. There are some new open source projects that are going to allow us to run this locally. So that's actually really cool. But for right now, we're not focused on that. Not focused on running locally. I think actually running locally will be cool because we can like train it for us specifically to be more awesome for the things that we're doing. But this is great. This is great. This is giving us a place to start without worrying about all of it. All right, let's I think this should run now. No, it didn't. No such file or directory. What file are you looking for? What? So this is the Ire stuff starting to print out. So I've never used Ire. It seems like it's for tracing in like microservices and stuff. It's what the people that did the example that I followed for the Twitch listener use themselves. We'll see if we like it. I don't really have an opinion on it at this point. So let's actually do backtrace. Let's do this. I never usually get much out of this that didn't. Let's see. Oh, okay. This is our database. We didn't move our database. Do we even? Oh, gross. We're gonna have to do a lot of work moving this apart. Our WebSocket client gets a ton of stuff. I thought I removed the database from it. It doesn't get the database anymore because the AI manager takes the database because it's the thing that stores a log of everything that people have gotten. So that's good. Let's go back here. Where was this? 137. 137. Line 137. So this is in setup SQL. Okay, so it's just not finding. But why does this run? This shouldn't run. I mean, oh, it does run because we set the database up and hand this off to the AI manager. So this 100% does run. Let's just find it really quickly. So yeah, we set this up here, and that's where we build the new AI manager. All right. So this single pay app needs to have a database. Oh, I gave the database file over here. Yeah, I gave the migrations and stuff. I put them over here. I thought this thing should own the migrations. And I think it does because this is the database for the AI manager. And eventually the AI manager needs to run by itself as well. So I think that means the migrations should stay here. So when we went to run the migrations, it failed. All right. Because it didn't find them. Because they're not here. This is fine. This is fine. Let's, I think all we have to do is come down here and tell it that the migrations are back a path and then in AI Manager. But I think, actually, this setup SQLite should be in the AI Manager. Anyhow, like this code shouldn't exist in the single page app because this is not, honestly, there's a few hard-coded things, like the path to the migration should be here, but this is really a utility function anyhow. Like this just sets up any SQLite. You give it the path to the database, and what it's doing is it tries to open it. If it's not there, it creates it if it's missing. It makes a connection, and then what it's doing here is running the migrations. So the migrations should be in the path that the database is running in. Dot migrations. Okay. For right now, just to make sure this is all working, I'm going to just make it in the single page app. No, let's do this right. Let's see, what is right here? So my only problem is I could move this code into AI Manager, but it's still running here in single page app, which means it's still going to expect the migrations to be here. And I guess this is setting up the migrations for running as a single page app. Actually, maybe this is good because in the future we could run the not single page app version with a different database as a data store. So you know what, I'm going to leave it like this. Okay, so all we need to do is move this migrations here over to single page app. And now it should work. I think it worked more than it did. Yeah. Create table if not exists, blah, blah, blah. 137. So the migrations failed. The migrations would fail if the database already existed where I was running from. So where is our SQLite database? And we'll just delete it. That is probably what happened here. Let's see. Yeah. It's the same migration, but it's been modified. So that's what happened there. There we go. We're back to working. We're back to a working state. I'm happy with this. So we have our de facto way of running it, which is this single page app. Single page app. Gosh dang it, the web. Not a single page app. We have our de facto way, but we've also made a way that we can break it apart. It's not broken apart. There is no Kafka or anything. I am focusing on getting it working as a single page first, and we'll move on to breaking apart. Part of this, I think this works in any language, and what I want to do is I might want to make a video on this specifically, because I think a lot of teams adopt microservices before they need it. And the thing is like, oh, well, in the future, we want to scale. And I think you could do something like this where it's pretty simple. It's simple to deploy. It's just a single binary right now as it is. I know I actually argued for this with Go as well. They have workspaces, which are kind of like cargo workspaces, like Rust workspaces. And I think that if you're really worried about scaling, this could be a really good way. It forces you to do, some nice, we have our nice traits here. It forces you to trait some stuff out, which is a little bit more work than just doing it with no traits and just like everything is mashed together. So it has some nice separation of concern anyways. But also leaves it where you're like, hey, I want to break X thing out. Well, really, all we have to do here in our main is inject a different thing. So right here in our main thing here is like where we're injecting all the different pieces. And I say dependency injection, but that always gets me to like Java dependency injection frameworks. I don't mean a framework. I just mean that I inject the dependencies. And this is taking a Twitch event handler, which could be a Kafka producer. We could have a Twitch event handler that took the Twitch event and just produced a Kafka stream, a message. And that's fantastic. And we don't, and that's fine. And the same goes here. I'm actually really excited about this. So I'm sorry I keep harping on it. But this AI manager also implements a new event, and it just listens for this new event. It doesn't do a whole lot unless if it gets a new event. That's beautiful. It takes this new event and does stuff with it. I like it. It's a little messy. We were doing something new, or I was doing something new. And we don't really even know, we don't care where this comes from. Is it from something that's consuming Kafka? Maybe. We don't know. Or in our case right now, in this single page application right now, it's coming straight from the Twitch event listener. It's just being pumped straight to it. Now, we still have that problem with our threading. If we go to the WebSocket client, we still have this problem with threading because this is happening on the same thread, and we just basically say, go for it. We're just sending it straight on. Why is this unused return value of new event? Oh. Oops. Can we just do this? Can we just return this? Not the right return value. Expected a result, error report. Oh. Ew. We said that this was an async function, which I think we can change. I don't think that this should be an async function. It was convenient to make this event handler async because I thought making this async meant that, you know, you can just do async stuff on here. But I think that's kind of the problem is we maybe don't want to do that. We want to make this a synchronous function. Yeah, I think that's actually the I think I made a mistake here. I think we don't actually want this. I don't think we need it to be more. So this is the problem that we have, is we have a waiting in here. And we'll have to figure out a good way to get around this. Well, we'll have to do our own synchronous stuff, I guess. Maybe we do want it. Makes it so convenient if it's async. Because we could use like our own Tokyo pool here, since to await the result of this. Do we need to do that? So the other thing that we need to do is we need to not block this main WebSocket, which is another thing that we're doing currently. We are currently not responding fast enough. Okay, let me undo all of this anti-async and get a commit in. So that needs to be async. Let's see. That needs to be async. What did I... New event, new event. Oh, I need to put async trait over here as well. There we go. And now we're just going to do this for now, and this will be a good commit. Let's clean up just a little bit of this. All right, try ignoring the field user. Do we not need this? We don't. We're sending the data on and parsing it. So let's do this. Let's clean this up to this. We actually just care that it is that. Actually, we don't even care that, right? Because we're just passing the whole structs on. We're just caring that it is of a type notification. Is this wrong? Okay, required with... Okay. Let's try it as non-exhaustive. It's not, it is non-exhaustive. I didn't put a comma. Notification. Expected unit struct. Found it. Oh, okay. This is a... But it's not going to like that. What do we do here? Let's see. Notification. E is an event subscription payload. So it's an event subscription payload that's coming in. I don't want anything. I just want to know that it's a notification. Originally, they were doing this, where we were looking for specifically channel follow. And I'm not getting the names right now because I'll actually parse this stuff out down here in the new event. You can use block on. Is that what we should do? I feel like I do want to clean this up, get a commit, and just do that. But I do feel like using block on here would be good. But I think this almost needs to be on its own thread at that point. And then do we have this new event, or do we have it where when you create an AI manager, you just get a channel to it? I think maybe that's what we need to do. Where when you create a new AI manager, you just, create that channel, give each side a side, and this just loops and listens to it. So that might re-architect some of how this works. Obviously, that channel would listen for Twitch event handles, we would pass basically the same thing. But I'm just leaving it all kind of as is right now. But I think we can remove this, do a block on, or we could do our own Tokyo inside of it, And like, but block on is probably simpler, so we'll probably just go with that. Okay. I was cleaning some of this up. Where was I cleaning up? I was down here. I just want to delete these things because I don't care. That's what I needed to do. I just need to put the dots in there. I'm not actually... But see, this is also where I don't care. I don't care that it's a follow event. I just want it to be a type of notification. So really what I wanted was just this type of notification. But it didn't seem to like this because notification is defined here, but it's not, you know, it's not this. The message thing here is a message E. So I can't do this, right? Because it's wanting its fields. Can I do this? Oh, I can do that. That's what I needed to do. I just needed to tell it I didn't want to expand all of its field. I just want to know that it's a notification. Cool. Because in here, I check that, actually, well, in here, I actually check what type of notification it is and get their username and user ID for whatever reasons. Okay, cool. So we cleaned that up a little. Oh, block on is still part of Tokio? I didn't realize that. I thought block on was part of the async library. I don't use it very often, so we're just going to... I don't know that I need the user ID to be... You know, I'm just going to get rid of it for right now. I don't know that I need it at all. I do need the message ID and message at. This is how we're going to cache and protect, so we're going to leave those in there for right now. Maybe we'll underscore them. For right now. But no, I don't like underscoring because I want these to be warnings. I need to use them. So, you know. All right. Let's look at some more of these warnings. We have a few more to go. Let's see. Oh, this was my original attempt to thread this, which we'll keep. So maybe we're close. Maybe we still just have some derelict things. Let's see. The metadata in this pattern is redundant. Why is it redundant? I need to understand this. Oh, it's redundant because I named metadata metadata. Okay. So yeah, you don't have to actually. You can rename the payload as event, but you don't need to. Honestly, this is probably cleaner if I don't do this either. Like, I don't know. Yeah, that's probably cleaner. Anyways, all right. And we don't use these anymore. That's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. All right, clean up, success. Well, and you're probably right. Like it uses Tokio has some of the same things, or I think Tokio supports the whole async library is usable with it. So it might be that like if you're using Tokio and Tokio main, block on works with it. I don't use it often enough to know. We'll find out in just a second. I just wanted to clean this up, get a nice commit in a working state. Okay, so let's do git cargo fmt cargo check That hurts me a little. Let's see. We have 5 warnings here, 3 here, 4 here. Ooh, ooh. 1 warning here. Okay. Oh, we can fix this one. Common source lib. No worries. Oh, yeah, this was dumb because I was doing this just for a demo. Delete that. Yeah. Did it. I also, yeah, I think we can get all of this, rid of this by just using it. We can either do channels or an actor framework and use an actor here. I think the actor might be a better way of going. All right, one less. One less. I want most of these. Maybe not that one, but this is good enough. More than I would like, but uh, let's look up really quickly. Rust block on. Yeah, part of the futures. I said async futures, but I think this is fully compatible with Tokyo. So right, because it's part of the futures executor, which Tokyo is an executor, so that would make sense. Let's accessing the current Tokyo runtime to call block on. I don't know. How does Tokyo's handle block on differ from runtime? I got sidetracked before I made the commit. Initial break apart. The big breakup. Part 2. Super cryptic. Let's see. This is how I handle the runtime is the same minus the last 2 lines. So runtime equals build a new multi-threaded. Then I call a function which is I wish these people would handle or post more code. It's very difficult. So actually, I take that back. I wish that. So what I really like is when they put the big thing in a gist and the things here. Now, some people will say like Stack Overflow is forever, so put it all in Stack Overflow. If it's too big, it sometimes makes it difficult. This is nice and concise. I don't know. Writing a good Stack Overflow, that does not really answer my question. Okay. So we can do this with the Tokyo runtime. This is what I mainly do, which is why I don't know. Oh, maybe instead of block on, you can use runtime spawn blocking instead of spawn. Okay. So then. Oh, good stretch. What time is it? How long have I been streaming? Okay, just an hour. I'll take a break in about 20 minutes. How do we want to let's check my pull request. Let's check my pull request. So Tuesday I made a pull request. I don't think it's still not been reviewed, which means we're just going to have to have our own fork of Octocrab. Well, not really our own fork. We're just going to have Octocrab sit beside our project, kind of like what we're doing with the Twitch API. I really don't like this way of doing it, but that's what we're going to do. Oh, can you share the link to that in the docs? I'd like to just read that really quickly. Okay, so I think you and I are saying the same thing here because I was just saying you can get the new runtime, which then works with block on. But then I saw here that they also have a spawn blocking themselves. I don't know if, but I'll read this document. I'll get this documentation really quickly. Copy link. So yeah, Tuesday we made an open source pull request. We added the event listening on org to Octocrab. So I was happy about that. Okay, cool. This is all fine and dandy. I guess what we need to think about really quickly, or just do, is basically this right now. And I don't think that this is necessarily the right way of handling it. This Twitch event handler could be on a different thread. Right now, it's not on a different thread. I just wrapped it in Arc because I was like, it could be on a different thread. This is pretty bad, actually. What is a good actor framework? I know Axis is a pretty classic actor framework, Actix, but I don't know that it's actually that well supported anymore. Do we just want to do like the RxTX channels between two threads and open up two threads here? So let's see. In our single page app, I keep calling it a single page. We need to name this something, not single app, because I'm going to say single page app all the time. In here, we could create a thread, put the web put the AI manager on its own thread with a channel and just use a channel, or we could use an actor framework. Monolith. We'll call it Monolith. I really then want to call it. Okay, Monolith. Good name. That's so much better than single page app, which I was going to completely abuse all the time. Awesome. Was somebody importing? Nobody should import the single page app. Oh, my cargo workspace. This will also make a lot of sense if I make a video and it's named. This will be very clear as to what it is, which is perfect. I'll do it in 2 languages. I'm going to do a much simpler version in Go, just so that people can see it in Go as well. Maybe I'll find somebody in the community that will volunteer to make one in Java, so we could have like 3. Hit the trifecta. Yeah, I'll probably just try to use spawn blocking. It seems like Tokyo already has their own built-in way of doing it. So, that being said, again, how do we get? Right now, we're just calling new event directly, which means it's on the same thread. And if we call block on, we'll be blocking our ability to process webhooks. I was going to look at Actix. Oops. Actix. Is that how you pronounce Actix? That's what I've been calling it. Let's see. Actix Web, but Actix itself. Let's see. Where is their repo? I want your Git repo. Oh, maybe it's in the code. Yeah, it seems to be dying out as far as like how much work they put into it. And I almost wonder if Actix Web, it almost seems to have like yeah, their own like wrapper. It could just be that it's that mature, but I've never used this. But is there another threading system that we should use? Wait. Go has that Service Weaver framework that Nighthound linked in the news that is doing this, I think. What? 1 second. I did not glean that from that. I am going to have to check that out. Let's see. News. Let me see. A framework for writing. We're excited to introduce Service Weaver, an open source framework for building and deploying distributed applications. Service Weaver allows you to write your application as a modular monolith and deploy it in a set of microservices. Oh, cool. Okay, actually, this is something I have actually called for like the next iteration of like. I've said for a long time microservices have a big developer issue, and we need a framework like this. So this is I missed this completely. More concretely, Service Weaver consists of 2 core pieces: a set of programming libraries, which lets you write your application as a single modular binary using only native data structures and method calls, and a set of deployers, which allows you to configure the runtime topology of your application and deploy it as a set of microservices, either locally or in the cloud of your choosing. This is exactly what we're doing. My goodness, Nighthound. Awesome work. By decoupling the process of writing the application from the runtime considerations such as how the application is split into microservices, what data serialization formats are used, and how more importantly, microservices severely impacted our ability to make cross-binary changes. I don't agree with all of these things. I think that you can use stuff like protobufers and not worry about some of these flag gates that they're talking about. If they're talking about feature flags, those are still useful anyways. So I'm not quite sure. But I agree with a lot. As a result, we wish to have a single monolithic binary to work with. Monolithic binaries are easy to write. They use only language native types and method calls. They're also easy to update. Just edit the source code and redeploy. They also run locally or in a VM. Simply execute the binary. Does this work? Is this only for Go? All right. The core idea of service is a modular monolith model. You can write a single binary using only. Dang it! I didn't know that this was. I've been out of touch. I didn't know that the modular monolith was a application paradigm. You organize your binaries as a set of modules called components, which are native types in the programming language. For example, so it sounds like it supports multiple languages. Sounds like it supports multiple languages. For example, here's a simple application written in Go using Service Weaver, consists of main function and a single adder component. So we have an interface of adder, we have a struct adder, and then we implement add the adder interface. This is the one thing that annoys me in Go is like there's no implements. It's all implicit, which means like this won't actually fail if adder doesn't implement this. You have to do some stuff to enforce that, which is just dumb. When adding the above application, you make a trivial configuration choice of whether you place the adder component together with the main function or to place it separately. When the adder component is separate, the Service Weaver framework automatically translates the add call into a cross-machine RPC. Otherwise, the add call remains a local method call. Oh, this is cool. To make a change to the above applications, okay. The core Go library is used in writing your application. A number of developers use for running the application locally or on GKE. A set of APIs allows you to write. So it looks like it only supports Go right now. But this is really cool. Do you know what I want to do? You know what I want to do with this? You know what? You know what I want to do with this? This is what I want out of a new cloud. And this is what the null cloud's going. This is one of the things we're going to do. We're going to let you use Service Weaver so you can do a monolith, create your monolith in a Git repo, add that to the cloud, and it automatically breaks it up and runs it as microservices. I don't even know if that would be useful, but I want to think about that and maybe do that because that would be cool. So locally, you just run it, and then in the cloud, it gets all deployed nicely. Null Weaver. Oh, I like Null Weaver. Like an Orb Weaver. Yeah, we'll definitely have to expand this to Rust. I feel like this should also have... It will have to be like a build system. And I think that's fine. This isn't going to have a build system. Like, what I mean by a build system is you can have a build.rs, which I'm sure you know of, Russell. Sometimes I say these things because I don't know exactly who's on. It says that there's only one person viewing, but sometimes I've had like 4 people chatting and it said 1 person is viewing, so like I don't really trust the number a whole lot. Except when it says 0, it's pretty accurate on the 0. Um, uh, I think maybe we could do something with build.rs to update this. But the Null Cloud could support Orb Weaver first, not Orb Weaver. Null. It could support Service Weaver first, and then it could support Null Weaver second. Like as soon as we make Null Weaver, and we could do it with like the build file. Instead of doing it how we have the monolith here, we could have, a Null Weaver build file. I think I've never done that before, but it makes sense to me that you could do it in the build.rs and have like a package that does that specifically, which is maybe what we'll develop after we're doing this, so that we can get rid of the monolith. Like the monolith package only exists here to tie everything together and basically do the dependency injection. It takes the command line arguments and things like that. I'll have to look at how they do it in Service Weaver. Like, to be honest, this is an interesting thing because, do they make like a dependency injection framework? Is that basically what they do here? I'll have to look. I'm actually really excited about this. At least we support Service Weaver if we don't get Null Weaver out. But Null Weaver is after this and after the initial thing of assembly line, so cool. All right. Thank you for forcing me to. Let me really quickly just shout out to Nighthound for that. That's awesome. All right. Back to our question at hand. Do we Rust actor frameworks? Rust actor frameworks. Do we just use Actix? I think Actix is like the big one. Yeah. There are a lot of frameworks. Not wrong. Not wrong. We'll just look at a few. I feel maybe we'll use Actix because we already use Actix Web. I like a lot of what they do. Holy cow. That is a lot. I was making an actor framework and Rust a theme for a while. You missed mine. Yeah, I would probably. I shy away from frameworks, to be honest. There's a good point down here that I was reading. Yeah, frameworks call you, libraries call yourself, you call yourself. One should think very carefully when choosing a framework. If it turns out frameworks are a lot stiffer and a lot more you do it their way or it's the highway, whereas libraries are much more driven by you. So I really don't like frameworks. I prefer things not to. Sometimes you can't help it but be a framework. So, like Service Weaver, I would consider a framework. I don't know that they could get away with this as a library. If it is, that's amazing. But sometimes you can't get away from it, and that's okay. You just have to think a lot harder and more carefully on the benefits of the framework, in my opinion. All right, so we have Actix. We have Actix. Riker. A Rust framework, that keyword. I think actually all actor systems are pretty much frameworks. So maybe we don't want to do this. Maybe we just do the channels. I was thinking it would be better without. We need the AI stuff to happen on a different thread. The hard part here, the hard part that I keep going back to, is if we go with a different thread, the thing is, when this runs as a standalone thing, it actually doesn't care because it's its own process. But when it's running together as a single application, it does care. So how do we do that in such a way where we're going to have another main.rs here that has, I'm going to go stand up, make another cup of coffee, and I'm going to think on this while I do that. Because I need a break anyways, and my brain is melting. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to come over here. Because I don't have a Be Right Back screen, I have a new Be Right Back screen that I absolutely adore. That was not nearly as large as I had meant for it to be. There we go. There we go. It looks cool. Like there's all this diagrams that look cooler than they actually are down here. All right. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to think about this because, yeah, we need to have it where... Does the single page application do this? Does it handle obfuscating? I think the answer is yes to that. I don't understand how that is true at the moment. So, anyways, have fun. I'll be right back. I'm going to stretch my legs, smell the roses, and I'll see you guys in about 10 minutes. About 10 minutes. All right, we're back. We're back. You know, I was thinking about it, and I want to say part of my thoughts here is that if you're running it this way, it is what it is. It is what it is. Because in microservice mode, it will be a microservice. It can have 12 of them running. Now, my only thing here is this should probably be threaded anyways. We don't just want one thread doing these things, handling a connection. Now, in the microservice world, there is going to be something managing these. In this world, we have a Kafka consumer that's going to pump stuff to the AI manager. So that Kafka consumer really could have, now that I'm thinking about it, other than the database, everything here doesn't really care. We're just waiting on the response from the AI. And that's what can take a while. But we could have 100 of these going. We don't care. I think we're going to leave it as is. And we're going to work on other stuff. And we're going to see, because part of me feels like the monolith app should deal with it. But I don't know exactly how it would wrap the AI manager without also implementing the Twitch event handler, which seems dumb to make another intermediate that's like Twitch event handler multi-threaded that calls the AI manager multi-threaded. So that sounds dumb to me. But I need to think about it. So while we're thinking about that, we can flip over and work on some assembly line. Yeah, we can work on some assembly line. We have a couple things to do. They're kind of lame, but I just typed a capital Q. They're kind of lame. Why aren't you quitting? There we go. I don't actually know why I quit Visual Studio Code anyways. I just need to open a different folder. So what we need to do here is we need to actually get our fork of assembly line. Or not of assembly line, but of Octocrab. Octocrab. Okay, you know what I need to do? I need to How to make a Git submodule. I very rarely use submodules. I don't love submodules in general. Beautiful. Pretty easy. So the reason I don't like submodules is generally I find that it interlinks your code and you make a mono repo out of multiple repos. Not always, but generally that's what I see done with it, and this is what I don't like about it. If you want a mono repo, go with a mono repo. If you want, now when you're on bleeding edge, like stuff like we're doing right now, there's really no choice. But you have to keep it in mind that it's a separate repository, and you're just using it like that. All right. Let's see. We need the remote URL would be this one right here. Our fork. That's not at all what I wanted. Destination folder. We'll just give it Octocrab. Cool. All right, now we just need to remove our Octocrab from here. Shoot, what was that? It was exclude. I think it's exclude. Maybe that's a good point. We could just do that. So I was doing it this way so that if I needed to make updates to it again, it was right there. And I could then just push them and make a pull request again with them. But maybe you're right that that's not what I should do. I'll just use the git syntax. I think you're right. Now how do I remove a git sub module? So my thought was that, like, okay, I need to add something here. I can just add it here instead of switching over to Octocrab independently, which is probably a good thing to do. So I think you're right. I think you're right. Git sub remove. I'm gonna guess remove. Okay, so I'm just going to guess that I can just give it Octocrab. Let's see. Get. Oh wait. Is remove status init dinit update. Set branch. Set URL summary for each sync. Okay, so remove isn't one of them. I'm just going to delete it. Done. And then we'll just add it to the servers. I do forget about this from time to time as well. Yeah. I don't use it a whole lot, but yeah, we can do Octo. Where's our Octocrab? And then, so instead of here, we'll do this. And here we need mine. Wait, where is it? Here we go. I think I need the HTTPS though. That one. think that will work. Let's try building that. Cool. Okay. So I was pretty happy with my Octocrab because I made an example. Pull org events. So I know it works. So let's go ahead and implement this. I don't remember where we were. All right, right here. So now we can do, instead of octo repos, we can do octo orgs null channel. And this is going to look at all events on the null channel. There is an event. Let's tidy this up a little. There we go. And this, does this just work now? I think it does. It was actually pretty easy. I'm just gonna bing it out there. You know what we should do? Let's see. We have our ID, but what we want is not type. What is it called? Let's go down to the repo. We want to know what repo it was on, just to prove that it's organization level. This was designed for a specific repo. So let's do this. Repo equals, we'll just follow the same syntax. Not that. And then here we'll just throw in event.repo.name. Done. Let's terminate this and run again. Should throw in there like a repo name. Yeah. It's on the assembly line, null DB, some Twitch alerts. Cool. Awesome. Okay. It's nice when things work first time. Well, if you watched Tuesday, it didn't work first time when I was going through it. It was actually kind of nice because I went and did the to like prove that it was working. I went and made the example, which was nice because I just tested it here myself to make sure everything's working. All right. So now we have events. Maybe I should just push right here. I feel like our client is kind of a mess right now, though. Let's see. We have pull events. The main event. This is the. We really need to store these events in the database. Really, all we need to do is store the E tag, the last E tag, in the database, because that's all we need to make a query with our pull. So when we go to pull, when we get a new event, we need to save that E tag as the last E tag. When we'll get events in pages, so we have to loop over all of them, and not all of the events in the page could be new. Especially on startup, we're going to go through and see a bunch of ones that we've seen before. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just going to go ahead and do something. So I'm going to say that this starts with an E tag that we're going to pull from the database, but it also needs a connection to the database because it needs to save. Well, does it? Maybe it doesn't. We need to pass it in a function to call to handle a new event. So let's start there. We're just going to put that function here for right now. Deal with new event. And that's going to take a event. This is, yeah, just an event. And probably returns an error. It's my guess. So that takes an event, and so really all we have to do here is if it's a new event, we can call deal with new event and the event. Cool. So this is going to consume it. Yeah. So we're consuming the event here. I like that. So what we need to do, I do want to consume this event, I think, is the right idea. Well, maybe we don't. Maybe we don't. Maybe we don't. Maybe we don't. Yep. Deal with it. All right. Deal with new event. We're gonna give it our event. We don't want to copy it. I actually think I don't like this. I think in the event, eventually we will remove this. Now this deal with new event will need to pass it to the database. So two ways to do this. How I've done this previously is I'm going to go this way. I don't think I like this way, but we'll go with this way. Is that what it's called? I'm not sure. Let's check here really quickly. It's a connection pool, I believe. SQLite connection pool. Oh, it's this right here. Let's SQLite pool. That's what it's called. I was close. I was exactly right on. I was exactly right on. Not even close. Dead on. I did these backwards. All right, we'll import this. Let's see. And then we'll throw this in an impl. I don't like this. Is this not going to be making multiple calls to save an E tag, i.e., once per new event in the batch? So, yes, if there's 3 events in the new batch, new event in the batch, it will call this 3 times, and it will save the last one that's gone through. Which, if you're getting to the point where it's like, yes, so it would be more efficient to figure out which one's the latest E tag, loop through it backwards, send that one through first, because then you'd only have to do it once. We wouldn't know which ones were the latest ones because we would overwrite the new tag. So we have to process them in order. We can't just skip to the end one because if we overwrite the latest with the actual latest E tag, then we won't know what the other ones are. Line 37 does have the latest E tag. Oh. It's sent once for the whole thing. I'm wrong. I was thinking about the event ID. Okay. Good call out. Thank you. So really we need like a Right now we're keeping a cache of the last one seen. Do we need to store in the database the last one seen? I don't think so. We still need a deal with a new event, but we also need a set a new E tag. Actually, we probably do need to store the events in the database, right? We probably do need to store the events in it, don't we? I think the answer is yes. Because we don't want to reprocess an event we've already processed. Unless if somebody's requesting us to reprocess it. So we do. What we need here is another function called update etag. I think I'm going to just do it for orgs for right now, but I think in the future you could also do it for a individual repo. Like, I just want this to look at one repo. I don't want it to look at my whole org. You should be able to do that as well. What is the struct for an E tag? We'll also need the org. We'll need the event has the org on it, doesn't it? I think it does. Org, yeah. Yeah, it does. Okay. Beans. Actually, one second. Org. I don't know that it has the string. What's the org login? I'm not sure. Although this is also not a fully flushed out. We're going to need to do to this like we did for. We need to generate the SERDI based off of the JSON, because I know for a fact they haven't implemented the whole thing yet. So, all right, deal with new event doesn't exist because we need this struct, which I think will just pass in here. We'll just say that this gets an event processor. Right? Is that what we want? Yeah, that's what we want. And then we can just say processor, deal with new event. No, yes, sir, there is. We do need a self-reference here. We do. We'll need this as well. These can't just be friends of, because we actually need the SQLite database. That's why they're part of this as a whole anyways. Question, do we update the E tag before we process? I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. We won't for right now until we need to. And then we'll also do update E tag. This is going to be this and this. Another thing that we don't pass into this function is what org to be watching for. Pull events will be the processor, and org string. And this org is going to go here. Done. Done. Mismatch type. Okay, we found expected etag page octocrab model advanced event. Okay, this is a specialized. We did a specialized one down here, and this is a more generic one. We'll do the more generic one. We'll keep it generic. We'll keep it the option entity tag. Okay. Probably etag is last, but you need to handle reprocessing same events in case app was killed between event ingest and etag store. Almost like some kind of transaction or something. Yes. Yes. Huh. I don't know. I don't like transactional databases. I feel like it's overhead you just don't need. Who needs transaction guarantees or things like that? I feel like that's just too confusing for developers for the most part. All right, wait a second. Oh no, did I do the wrong entity tag? 1 second. I think I did the this is not the entity tag we're talking about here. We want this etag, which is the octocrab etagged. There we go. We want this one, please. Oh, we already imported that one. So there we go. There we go. Oh, did we not have a use octocrab etag? I thought we did. I just looked up there. Use octocrab etagged. Oh, what did I accidentally do? Okay. Oh. I know what it's asking here. Sorry. That's what it needed. All right, cool. Back on track. Value of org was moved here. Okay, yep. We'll just give this a nice good old clone. That's not expensive at all. All right, done. Etag done here. Okay, we are moving the value of etag. I think we can get away with this right here. We'll see. I think this is going to be fine though, because all I need here is to serialize out the string that it has, and we should be able to rebuild an entity tag from that. And we'll just borrow it here, and that should be fine because we're not doing anything crazy. Okay. So we pass in a processor and an org. And now we're actually looking at the ones that we pass in. We probably want to put in a nice convenient helper for new here. I generally do this. I don't know. Maybe that's bad practice. New. We need a squeal database pull. Uh, Got a little bit more explicit. This will return self. Self. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. There should be like a delay on this. Like, give me, just a little bit of time before you make it red, because I always check it. All right. Boom. There we go. All right, now we have to update the main to pass all these things in. You know what? I also want to take this print line and I want to put it in our function. Because our function is the one dealing with it. It is called deal with new event. I wanted to call it deal with it, but I'm not doing that. All right. Yep. Okay. Now we need to get our connection first. Throw that up here. And now we can, this isn't going to work because we made this not public and in here. So do I want this event processor to be part of GitHub? It is a GitHub event processor. And maybe we can make this use generics in the future when we implement somebody else's, but that's too much foresight. I can't think about that. So we'll just leave it as it is with no trait. We're keeping it simple. So I think it should be part of GitHub. But I think we're probably going to need to make this its own public thing. So I'm going to do that. New file. GitHub event. Beautiful. We will put this stuff in there. All right, and then in here, we'll have to now import this. No problem. Maybe a problem. Uh-oh. Not what I meant to do. No actions available. I exported it. Don't fail me. Okay. Oh, I know why. I know why. It's not public. There we go. Now, I'm not going to make this public because I think like things outside of it shouldn't be touching this. It's another reason you do the new. Yeah. What is it that we're doing here? It's the SQLX that we need. Oh, we don't need it here anymore. Cool beans. We do need, we got the it's the events that we need. What is the events? this. We'll copy this whole thing, then we'll clean it up. So we don't need e-tagged here. And we don't need page or octocrab. Oh, true. True, because we're not handling the pages here. We're just dealing with individual events. Nice. Why are these upset? Oh, I know why. I know why. Nailed it. All right. Now we have to figure out why this is up. Okay, why? This needs update. This has been failing on me for a while. I don't know why it keeps telling it will run. It just doesn't like it. I don't know how I broke this part of Tokyo. But okay, I need our connection pool and our org. So our org is going to be we'll just do the null channel. And we can just do conman dot pool. That's what we needed. This needs to be toString. Beautiful. Is that not what we needed? Expected event oh, right. We need an event processor. That's my bad. That's my bad. So we'll do let event new, and now we'll do our conman dot pool, and we can just slide this in here now. Ha! Now all of this might be. I think I can just delete all. I'm going to delete all of this. It's in GitHub anyhow. So we're going to delete that. Don't need any more. And we're going to pause on this pool events as it is. So let's try running this. Uh-oh. Wait. Environment variable not. Which environment variable? Could you tell me which one? That was not very helpful. Why is it complaining that environment variable wasn't found after we just... I feel like I changed something in the code. Guessing the DB. Oh, yeah. Good call. Because we weren't actually using the DB before this. Okay. We have our migrations. I haven't looked at these yet. Let's see. Yeah, we need to do some squeal programming. Maybe the next episode. Maybe during the week we'll do some squeal. We need to lay this out because this is garbage, I think. Wait. No, squirrel. I don't know why I was saying squeal. It's squirrel programming. Squirrel programming. Not bad. Okay, so let's see. We have the ALDB. Here's I just need to source this. Source the ENV. We need to be in server. Yeah, server. It's only pronounced squeal when it's on a pig of a David. this what we're doing here? Sourcing this file. There is two, good sir. Server, oh, .env. Maybe you're right. Maybe. All right, this is database URL. Gosh dang it. This is like some really old code. Okay, but this is good. I feel like I sourced that file appropriately. Let me just export it myself. That's not what I meant. I see the problem. There's no export in here. So okay. This makes sense why this didn't. Now it should work. Remember what you were saying about it's nice when it works the first try? That is nice, isn't it? Unable to open database file. That's fine. Ooh, did I not do the nice migrations that we did last time where it actually creates it? I thought that I did that here too. I thought that was here too. Creative missing. Unable to. Why are you unable to open it? Give me more information. It could be that I actually have the database file open myself. I have been known to do that. I am not scared to go dumpster diving in a database file. So like, but wait, what does it say? What line? Let's see. Caused by code 14. I don't know what code 14 means. Let's just run it with backtrack. All right. This is server. And we don't need any of this garbage. No, we don't need that either. What line is going to help me narrow this down? Line 15? Line 15? So, yeah. Let's just delete this. We don't need it. In case, like, there's it's corrupted or something, like. I'm not sure. Not saying that's what happened. Yes, still failing. It should create it if it's missing. So if it shouldn't fail if it's not there. Let's look at SQLX failed to connect DB error code 14. It's an SQLite error code. Okay. Okay, but it should create it if it doesn't exist. Ooh, okay. It should, but this is at server ALDB, and if the folder doesn't exist, it could be failing at creating the folder. So I was thinking that since this ran in the base project assembly line, I needed this here, but what if that's what I need right there? What if, well, I know it's not what I need for this, but for my export, it might be. Because if it's looking in the server project and trying to create a folder server, that could be causing it to fail to create the database, which then means we couldn't open it. So let's go back to our export and remove server. We'll just do ALDB. That way there's no folder interpretation between. Ugh. All right. So we have pretty much the same output. Yeah, actually, I want to. Can I compare it to the Twitch one? I kind of want to make this and get it into the SQLite. I don't know how to make it better for the I don't know how to get it into the SQLite, but this right here I feel like is should be like a default function that you can call. Like I feel like you should be able to do this where basically you're just taking the URL of the database and you're going to run your migrations, you're going to create it if it's missing, you're going to you're going to connect, you're going to run your migrations, and you're going to migrate them and then return the connection pool. I feel like this is what I want on every SQLite database that I use. Now, where is that file being saved? I'm guessing that file is here in the server. I would be wrong. Oh, dude. It has. That's wrong. We had this problem before. Okay. Let's open up Twitch because the Twitch alerts is working properly. The Twitch alerts is if you're looking here at the monolith. Maybe it's not working properly. Yeah, it's doing alerts DB. It's doing alerts DB. I think I just hard coded that in here. Let's see. Where's my Oh, it's in the options, but I think I just gave it a default. Yeah. I'm just giving it alerts DB. Okay. So I'm wrong. I don't know that I'm wrong. But I'm wrong. I'm obviously wrong. Because I know that if we have changed this to not have this here, it fails. But I think in the command line arguments, you can't have it. Like when you're actually using it. Also, it's not dumping in the server. So we'll just leave it as this right here. And then in our command line, we're going to do this. That should create us a new database, ALDB. Okay. I think that's the statement. I know that I've gotten confused on this before because I know that what I had to pass in hasn't matched what the SQLX wants from the environment. And this kind of makes sense that they want this because it could also be a Postgres, and this is kind of part of, like, it will fail if it's not in there for Postgres, but I don't know. Now watch me be wrong and we got to delete this, but I'm pretty sure this has worked. All right. So oh, you're probably good that it would be good to separate out database file and database URL vars. Now we have to do some squirrel programming. Some squirrel programming, because what we need, and yes, I know that I'm just updating the initial migration because this is just our init. What we need is 2 tables, and I know that it doesn't matter with SQLite that they're in tables, but what I found is if I've decided that I need the performance of, it locks the whole file. Which actually, if you're watching the database thing, you might understand why it locks the whole file. Because it's one file, but it locks the whole file. So to actually do separate tables correctly, you actually have to do separate databases, which then means you can't join on them. And I don't think that we want to join on these, but I do them as separate tables anyways, because then it's easy to break them out into their own database when you're doing SQLite. But I haven't done SQLite for like 5 years, so I could be super wrong at this point on this. But I'm going to go with 2 tables here. So we'll have another create table if not exists. Well, we'll copy the first 2 lines actually. That's looking pretty dandy. And this should just be an E tag, and this should be unique, right? I think this should be unique. And it should be text. No. 1 second. First, we want to do auto increment here, which we did implement over here. I forget the keyword for auto increment, so just give me a second. Auto increment. It's auto increment is the keyword for auto increment. So we're going to do auto increment. I don't know. I think maybe we want this to be the E tag. 1 second. Orgs E tags. What I was going to say is we have an org. Org that is text. And then we also have the E tag. Last E tag. I'm assuming we'll store that as text. Is E tag unique? It has to be unique. That's what we query and stuff on. But my only thing is it unique to an org or to a repository for that group of events? Of course I'm allowing nulls. This is the null channel. I have to put nulls in somewhere. Good call. Is this unique? I don't know. Let's see. GitHub organization API. Here we go. I just want the search. I want to search in the API events. I think this. What I hate is that they actually don't talk about e-tags here. They're talked about somewhere else. E-tag. GitHub events power the various activity streams on the site. You can use the REST API to return different types of events triggered through. Ooh, we got to check this header. Oops. Only events created within the last 90 days will be included in timelines. But I don't know. I don't know that they're unique. I mean, it looks unique. I'm going to assume they're unique. That's what I'm going to assume for right now. And then we can get rid of this. And then basically, we'll just make this our primary key. Is this what we want to do? This seems weird to me. It's a little squirrely. It's a little squirrely. Let's see. Let me think about our usage pattern here. Okay, so when we make a new request, we just need the last e tag for an org. So really, actually, in this table, org is the primary key. This is the primary key. We will only ever insert one organization. We're watching one organization, and this is the last e tag for this organization. Okay. Okay, so really this is the primary key. And this is just text. This is making more sense. Okay. Got it. So when we go to make our request, we get the last e tag for this org. When we go to update it, we update it for this org. Got it. Sorry. All right. Yep. And we have org. So here, really, yeah, we just do an insert update. And then here, this is the events database. We haven't looked at events. This is repositories. Are we keeping a history of events? I think we should keep a history. Have I seen this? So it wasn't a direct rickroll. I opened it up on my other screen because in your REST API, you may want to avoid returning eTag headers for resources where you are unlikely to be able to return stable eTag values, especially in list operation. It seems your eTags change even though the last modified does not. If we want our client to prioritize revalidation via if modified sends over if none match, our local cache hit ratios are greater than 99%. Otherwise, with if none match, they are 50 to 60%. So currently we have to add this hack in our client to not blow our hourly quota. Okay. They're obviously using the inferior Go language here, but we'll forgive them for that, considering most of my code is in Go. Let's see. Successful response from GitHub to a git head request contains both an eTag and a last modified header. We drop the eTag as sometimes the eTag varies even though the resource itself and the last modified did not. By dropping the eTag when the last modified exists, we force HTTP cache to send revalidations using only the if modified sends validator. I wonder if events that don't change the content are changing the eTag. You mean like a comment on a pull request? It doesn't change the pull request, but it does change the eTag. Is that what you're saying? Things like that? I'm wondering too. Well, this is something we'll have to look more into. I'm not sure it affects us right now, but it's good to keep in the back of our minds as we go forward. And we might need to have more like we might want to. So this is weird though, because like I was going to add like last modified, but that would mean that I would have to track what resource I was tracking here. I guess I'm tracking events. We could call this the events eTag table. Actually, maybe we should call this org events. And then we could last modified. Yeah, we can do this later though if we need to. I'm going to leave it just as this for right now. But my hunch would be the same as yours, Russell. It's the funny thing when you've done these things long enough, you can almost kind of assume what's going on in the back end. Like, we've all made these things. Like, this is nothing new. This would, kind of make sense. You can infer. Sometimes it's not what's happening, but a lot of times it is. Okay, so this is good. Now, okay, we were moving on to dealing with a new event. I think we are going to store events for a little bit. maybe not even 90 days, but it might make sense for us to have events because in a system like this, people might want to be able to view the events that have happened on their data are on their Git repos, and everything that has triggered them. So I think at least for now, we're going to shove some of this information. I think really just the event ID. I'm just going to store this data right here. Because that's like very simple, but it will let us tie stuff together if we need to. Oh, but these are the org events. Dang it. Org event E tag. This is getting weird now. We're just going to do. Is the event ID? I don't feel like event ID is a GUID of any type. And I definitely don't think it's unique across different organizations. I guess this is probably only a single organization. But there's not going to be just one record. So really we need an ID is an integer. A composite Yes. Yes, I think so because we'll have org in here as well. So that you'll be able to get all of the org's events. So we'll do org, which will be. Does Squirrel support composite? Like, I mean, obviously, I can make this a secondary index and go on both of them. But does it have like native composite support, or is that not? I don't know. Oh, Nighthound, it's good to see you. So, big shout out to you. This is actually a really cool article that you brought before our eyes. And the really cool thing is we're implementing it in Rust over here. We're doing like the exact same thing, and so to see somebody else do something like that is actually like super cool. So yeah, thank you. And I'm going to talk about it tomorrow in the news because I honestly think like maybe it's the next step for microservices. Now, obviously, I don't think it works for every microservice because it starts to get complicated. Like, you're not going to run Google's microservices that way. But I think for the small teams that are worried that they're not going to be able to scale if they write it as a monolith, it's the perfect happy medium. When you hit unbelievable scales, you might need to write individual services, but you can start with that monolith. It's a really good article and it's a really good project. I think it's pretty cool. Russell and I were talking. We probably have to do after the Twitch alerts is done, and probably after the initial assembly line. I need to get the assembly line proof of concept out and Twitch alerts done. I think I want to do whatever it was called. It was what was it called? Service Weaver. We need the Null Weaver. Oh, Doc say it's support. Sweet. All right, we'll pull this up. So we'll probably be creating Nullweaver as soon as I have the time to do it. And I think so. I've been saying that I think the next cool cloud innovation is going to be one that allows you to do microservices in a really easy way and innovates on that. And so I think that's what we're going to do for the Null Cloud. Like, well, obviously, Twitch alerts is going to be the first thing. But I think the next thing, I was thinking about just letting you guys run containers, and maybe we could do that. Maybe that's an easy halfway, medium step. But maybe the big thing after the containers is Nullweaver and Nullweaver and Service Weaver support. So you can just point me to a repo and I'll build your microservice architecture with like logs and things like that for debuggability. I think that will be really cool. All right, let's see. Create table commands. Let me see. What am I looking for again? Oh, composite. Let's just search for that. So how do I define a composite key though? Oh, okay. Just like this. Beautiful. We'll do... Actually, do we need an ID if we're not doing composite? Because we can do this ID, not the auto increment. We'll just take this out altogether. And this is the ID that's coming through the event right here. This plus the org, or maybe the repo. I'm going to say org. I don't really know, and their API doesn't really tell us. So I'm guessing a little bit here. But I'm going to guess that the ID and org are unique. Because if you didn't do it on org, you got this ID as well as all this other stuff. And so that was on the repo level. So I'm guessing that on the org level, it's also unique. That will probably bite us, but we'll handle that. And so these two should be a primary key. We'll also have the repo. I mean, we could make the composite key require the repo as well, but there are events on the org that are outside the repo. So I don't think so. I think we'll leave repo out. Type, yeah, we'll include type in there too. I've been trying reserved word. I've been trying to. I think previously I've been moving a little bit slow while on stream because I'm nervous about it, and I'm trying to get a little bit better about just moving fast and not writing the most beautiful code, and just going with it. So I'm a little bit faster on stream. Because I've been sometimes trying to think out the best way to do it before writing some code, and I'm really just not smart enough to do that. A lot of times I have to write some stuff and see how it actually works. Like all of this stuff. This is like the third iteration of breaking this apart because I had to write some stuff to actually see in my mind how that I knew that they would all fit together and work together. I just didn't know exactly how that would work in practice. So So yeah, I'm going to try to be a little bit better about that. Yeah. All right. So I think this looks good. So now we can just like start inserting into these. Yeah, we have our org events, org event e tags. I don't like the name of this, but we'll come back to that. These are the things I'm trying to not get hung up on. Like, it's a horrible name. I know. Let me look at SQLX. I forget how to write its query, and I deleted its query. We had a query, and I deleted it. So let's open up those examples because I deleted it, and I haven't used it enough to. So yeah, Russell, that's exactly the same as me. I can make it work and then I can make it good after that. And I can't like and a lot of the times I'm not doing things that I've done 20 times. And so like if I was, I might be able to make it great the first time. But a lot of the times I'm not doing that. And so like for me, I can make it work first. And on stream I've been trying to make it great the first time because like I and I know none of you have ever pressured me like, "Oh, that looks yeah, but there's still the pressure of doing it live." And so that's something I've been dealing with. There's one thing to know that something's okay and is how most developers work anyways. And then there's the other of actually getting over, I guess I would call it like stage fright or whatnot, where you're like, oh no, this has to be perfect and beautiful, and I can't say I don't know. I shoot. Okay, this is what I was looking for. This right here. I mean, part of the reason I wanted to stream and make YouTube videos in the first place was to help developers be more comfortable with that. And one of the ways to do that is just to show them that, you know, sometimes I'm like, I don't know, let's try something and see how it works. That's part of my process is, I don't know, let's try something and see how it works. All right, so this is how we're going to insert into something, right? Yeah, so we're going to insert into, that's not our, actually, this should fail. Yes. All right, why did this fail? No, because we're not self.pool, but it's actually db. Self.db.acquire. We need this to be async. Await. All right, so we got our connection pulled. This should fail because we don't have a to-dos. Error returned because there's no such table as to-dos. This is actually the really cool power of SQLX. It's not an ORM, but it does type check your things. So we should be able to update this to, what did we say? Org events. It's not on a different tab. Org events, because this is dealing with a new event, should have that table. Now, this is where possibly it's not looking at the right place. Should we start to pressure me? No, but thank you. That's okay. You know, I don't, and whether I feel like it's pressure or not, if you see it somewhere where there's a better way of doing something or whatnot, you should bring it up. I'm either not seeing it or, maybe I've never done that thing and I haven't learned that lesson before. So that's not pressure. Pressure is like, you idiot, how did you not do it this way? Why is it saying no such or table? Oh, because there's not. We haven't run our migrations. This is one thing you do have to do is run your migrations. But this is one problem. It doesn't bother it if it's compiled. But if you actually go run, it can't compile. unless if you have the this is probably my biggest complaint and the weird thing with it. I mean, it's worth it, but it can't compile anymore because this doesn't know about that event because we haven't run our migrations. Now, if we had the compiled binary, when it starts up and runs and builds, it would create the table and there would be no problem. But I wonder if there's some way in the build where we could have it automatically, whenever this file changed, build it out for us. I wonder if there's a way to do that. So SQLX migrations run. Migrate run. Oh, is it going? Is it looking in the server? So our database file is right here. Okay, we're back to where is it looking? We don't have an env file out there. Let's put an env file out there. Let's put this file out in the base project. Let's try there. Now, this might be saying that there's no migrations in the base file. We can specify where we want our migrations to be from, right? I believe there's a command for that. So source should be server migrations. Okay. Unrecognized database URL, ALDB. Okay, this is where SQLX wants it to look like this. I'm almost positive. And this is where it gets kind of annoying. Let's try our export again. But let's change it to this here. Oh, shoot. And now let's run this. Yeah, see, SQLX wants this. But when the code runs, it does not want that. I'm probably doing something wrong. Okay, my worry here with this is that it's looking at a different database. All right. No such table. Have I guys told you all how much I love SQLX? Have I? I love SQLX. I really do. And this is just like the Rust compiler. Sometimes the Rust compiler is painful, but as soon as you learn to live with it, it's really nice. It's like that annoying in-law who just wants the best for you, but they're annoying, but they want the best for you. So you can learn to live with it. Just comment out code, run, then uncomment. But if you have a bunch of these everywhere, that's going to actually get really, really painful. I could do that now, but if I have 20 of these, does that become very, very, very painful? I think so. I think it becomes very, very, very painful. All right, it created it here. My worry is that my .env is wrong now. My .env that it's looking at. Like, do I need to do this? Is that going to help it? It's weird because it says no such table, where if it says no such table, I think it's making a connection. But to where? I see ALDB here. There is no ALDB anywhere here. That's the only ALDB, right? That's getting created. Okay, I'm going to comment out code. Oh, I need to update this to just be ALDB to run. And now I can run. I don't think that this is a tenable solution in the future. And why am I not getting my events? It should be printing them still. Houston, I do believe we have a problem. So it created the database, but it's not listening to events anymore. I mean, it used to be that's what was printing them out. We had our update etag. I guess let's throw some stuff in here. Let's see. Let some response value. Okay. We'll just see if we get an event. Got an event page. Very excited about that. Let's run this. I mean, this is the only thing that's running, really. We start up and we start this events. So the only thing is, like, if it's getting stuck on acquiring the pool or this is the only thing I can think of is that would stop it from happening. Okay. So we got an event page. Deal with new event isn't getting called. Why is deal with new event not getting called? It wouldn't get called if it was in the last scene, but Oh, it does need an await, doesn't it? It does. It does. It does. Such a noob. When we put the SQLite thing in there, I had to put a weight on it. It absolutely did. Thank you, Russell. You deserve the mic drop on that one. I forgot when we were over here. When we were over here, we had to put this await in to acquire the DB, which required me to put the async in, which then made nothing. I'm sure there was also a warning. Okay. Okay, so we're back. Our migrations have run. So now let's uncomment. Unrecognized database URL. Let's do the SQLite shindig. This is what I call it. That should make it happy. Unable to open database. So maybe I don't know exactly where this is running from. Like, is it running from server or is it running from the root of the project? Okay, so it's still saying no such table. Why the crap is it saying no such table? Wait, what table did I say? Org events. Org events. There's a table org events. You cannot tell me that this... Deep breaths. I've done something wrong. I've done something wrong. 1 second. Let me copy and paste this. Just in case that's the problem. Well, what am I missing here? I'm missing something dumb. Okay. Yeah, let's try that. That's a good try. We have an ID, org, repo, and event type. Let's just yeah, let's just actually put these in. That is not what I meant. ID, org, event, type. What was the last one? Oh, repo, then event type. And then we need to break that out of the event. So ID is event.id. Org is event.org. I don't know. 1 second. Let me it's org. Oh gosh. Oh, 1 second. Org.org. We'll just do ID. There we go. I think this is an optional, so we'll unwrap that there. And then we need event.repo.name. name, and then event dot type. Okay. Why is this? Oh, because type is a. Okay. That's mildly. I usually just go for a different name, but you know, we'll do this. Okay. No such table. It's still complaining that there's no such table. Oh, I know. I know. I know. I think I know. All right. So what we did was to run the migrations. We didn't use SQLX migrations. We commented the code, but the code runs at the root, which the code here has this. And guess where the migrations are? They're actually in the server project. So unless if our code that set it up was pointing there, it's going to fail dramatically. So let's check here and see if that's true. No. It really needs to run in server.migrations. We need to update this to be a little bit more generic as it goes. All right, so now we need to comment the code again. We need to run, which will run our migrations that actually exist now. That might actually exist now. Okay, well, we at least got an error. Error while resolving migrations. No such file or directory. Come on. Oopsie. Oopsies. Oopsies. Well, I didn't fix it. So here we're getting our current executing, which I think was in the root, which is why we need the servers. But for some reason, it's thinking this is fine though. But migration shouldn't exist there because that should be in the root directory here. I'm inclined to believe that that ran in the right location. But we don't have the table. No, I don't have a MySQL client. There, I'm sure Arch has one. Let me find an Arch MySQL client. Arch MySQL, not MySQL, SQLite browser maybe. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Now, this is the problem here. I haven't updated this for like a week, so installing this is going to take a little while. Maybe I'll be done with the stream for today. Let's see, what time is it? I've been streaming for 3.5 hours. That feels pretty good. So I'll probably be done for today, but I'll have a viewer and stuff ready for next time. I'm going to actually push this. There's a lot of changes, and I've been holding back on pushing because like it's all kind of garbage code, but at the same time this is how I work. Like we are building something brand new from the ground up. There's going to be some intermediate garbage work. So I'm going to get it pushed. Oh, awesome. And Rocket League is starting, so if you don't watch Rocket League, go check out Rocket League. Support them. It's pretty cool. So, all right. Well, thanks everyone for joining. I appreciate it. I'll see probably none of you on Tuesday, but I'll be streaming Tuesday. So, actually tomorrow, Sunday. I'll see you guys Sunday for the news. See y'all.